guys. Hello, everybody. My name is Jenny Kwan. I'm the MP for Vancouver East. And I want to begin by saying thank you to the First Peoples, the Musqueam, the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh people, for allowing us to gather here to live, to work, to play in your unceded traditional territories. The work that we do, it is so very important. I think it was just demonstrated a minute ago why we need to do what we do today. Why we need to stand up every single moment of the day against discrimination, against racism, against bigotry. This is what we are about, and we will not be part of that. You know, every day there will be people who want to distract and take us in a different direction. And you know what? We must stand firm in our resolve and to say no. No to racism anywhere, everywhere, anytime, all the time. As we were marching down from Thornton Park, we started with the solidarity notes. Where are they? They're here somewhere. Singing, rallying, bringing us together with one mind and one heart. In the spirit of love, in the spirit of solidarity, to do what we are all about. Standing up for justice, standing up against hate, standing up with resolve, and with one goal in mind, is to unite all of us with a common purpose. The purpose that speaks for who we are as humanity, to speak for us as who we are as human beings, to love one another, to accept one another, to respect one another, and to celebrate one another. That's what we are all about. And as we march down, we're reminded of our history. And let us remember, Canada is not a country that's built without blood and sweat. Let us be clear that the very first peoples, the indigenous peoples, the people who own this land, they were treated in unspeakable ways. And that history is here and stays with us in this 150th anniversary of Canada's celebration. Let us always remember that. Let us resolve today and commit ourselves to do what it needs to be done so that we don't have to say we are sorry anymore to the Indigenous peoples. Let us make sure that all levels of government, doesn't matter what stripe, that they do the right thing. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of work to do. A new nation-to-nation relationship means real action and not just selfies and nice talk. It means real investment into the people and bringing the partnerships together and respecting their voice like we have never before. We owe it to them, and we owe it to the generations to come. And as we march down, I am reminded that today, this year, we celebrate also the 75th anniversary of the Japanese internment. The people who survived with such incredible resilience, who are here today wanting recognition, wanting us to move forward and to remember this history as well. And we're reminded as we march through Chinatown, the discrimination that took place against the Chinese people, from the head tax to gentrification that people were talking about today, that I myself as an immigrant also experienced discrimination. And that cannot be the future of who we are. And that too must also end. I am reminded as we get close to the water, the Kumugadamaroo as well, how people were turned away, how people died as a result of that. I'm reminded as we march down Hastings Street, the Indigenous people, the missing and murdered women, and the struggle that continues today, poverty, the social determinants of health, and how that impacts everybody's lives, and we pretend that it doesn't exist. And south of the border, my friends, what is going on over there? It is so absolutely scary. Somehow discrimination and racism is deemed to be patriotic. We have a sign here that says, stop pretending your racism is patriotism. And you know what? That is a message, let's be clear, for Donald Trump. I was at a rally not so long ago at the Peace Arch, and it warmed my heart because I saw young people with signs like that. Someone held up a sign that says, make racism wrong again. Another young person held up a sign that says, if you built the wall, my generation will break it down. This is what this is about. That's what you are all about. We will break down that wall. We will stop racism when we see it, where we see it. And I love it that today that we see this sign. Please hold it up loud and proud. If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. That's what that means, and that's Desmond Tutu. That is a lesson for all of us to learn, a lesson for all of us to remember, a lesson for us to remind our own Prime Minister. Standing silent and not standing up against Trump means exactly that. And let's be clear, the Safe Third Country Agreement, you will know what that's about. This is an agreement that Canada has signed with the United States, that we acknowledge that supposedly the U.S. is safe for those who are seeking asylum. The truth of the matter is, with the executive order that's come out, even though it's tied up in the courts because they are discriminatory, because they are racist, and because they are unconstitutional, even if it's held up, we have the right and the responsibility to stand up against that and to challenge it. And I gotta tell you, I am so dismayed that our own Prime Minister will not do that. We need to get the government to suspend the Safe Third Country Agreement and not force those who feel unsafe in the United States to go through the back door, to trek through snow, risking life and limb to get to safety. It is not okay when you have a child who's trying to cross the border and with the mother, and the 2-year-old toddler says to the mother, I can't go on anymore, because he was in too much pain to trek through the snow, and said to his mother, you go on without me to Canada. This is what we are forcing people to do, and we must not stand for that. There is much work to be done, my friends, and I am so grateful for the coalition, for the organizers, the people who brought us together to say no to racism, to say no to bigotry, for us to stand united and stand firm in our resolve to fight this fight. This fight is for this generation, it's for the people who's passed on, but most importantly, it is for the future generation and for the people yet to come. We have to stand firm and define who we are this moment in time, because it counts. This moment in time counts for you, it counts for your children and their children and their children before them. That's why we stand here at Victory Square, the people who went to war to fight against fascism, to fight against discrimination, to fight for freedoms and democracy. If we're to honor all of that, we have a job to do, everyone. Do not detract our attention from people with the kind of actions that they want to take us away firmly on what we need to do. We must remain strong and stand united in going forward. And we must do this whenever we see racism and discrimination rear its ugly heads. I thank you all so very much for coming, for standing here, for doing this important work. And let us commit ourselves today to carry this on. And do not let people distract us, because our voice will be louder, will be stronger, will be united, and will be singular to fight this fight against racism today and every day. Thank you all so much.